The story that I think I have spoken to every single person I've talked to this week about, Mal, the Russian poisoning in Salisbury, it's a curious tale, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's troubling in some ways, and the problem lies in how we respond to it now. What does Britain do? What's proportionate but the right response? It's talk about boycotting the World Cup, withdrawing the English squad, or refusing to send government officials. I don't think either of those will have any impact if, as seems possible, though it's not proven, there is some collusion at the top of Russian politics. But the other option is requesting that NATO's next summit in July strengthens financial sanctions, travel bans and so on key people in Putin's retinue. They have proven painful for prominent Russians in the past, but they really don't do anything to dent President Putin's, if he was involved, I have to stress that, his standing in the eyes of the Russian people. At the end of the day, he will almost certainly be president for another 6 years after the elections this year, which happen this month.
Imminently, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever lies beyond that 6 years, he will do everything possible to avoid any international calling to account for what he's done up until that point of time. So I think as a proud KGB man, it is possible, if he was involved, that he and others like him would see killing a double agent on foreign soil as some sort of moral duty.
But talk to me about the social impact of this, because the sort of the story of the fact that they went out for an Italian lunch and they went to the pub, and it's the sort of thing that people do every Sunday in places like Salisbury. Does that sort of strike the fear into the hearts of normal people going about their everyday business?
Well, it could do, and if it does, then it has the aspect of, in small t, a terror issue, because terrorism is about inspiring fear and preventing us from going about our daily lives living by our values because we fear the result of what might be done to us. And so, yes, I think it has a social impact for the British citizenry because we don't know whether our country is secure. One of the primary roles of government is always to provide security, to make sure that we're protected. We have army chiefs at the moment saying that our army's shrinking and we need to boost it back up again because of international threats. So without being too, traumatized by
scaremongering.
Yeah, we're not scaremongering, but we do need to be aware that this isn't just a story about two individuals who are former in a town that most of us might never go to. This is something that does affect our security, and our government needs to be very careful about what it does next.
Why would somebody actually do this in the way they've done it, in broad daylight, which is then going to raise all of these questions, rather than this guy just disappearing? And why involve his daughter? I don't understand.
I think there's probably two reasons. One of the main ones is that whoever's behind this, and we don't know that it's President Putin, but it seems likely that's possible. It may be that he wants to make a statement, a public statement. I can reach you wherever you are. In fact, there was a prominent TV journalist in Russia this week on state TV giving a warning to people living overseas who are expat spies, saying you're not safe even in Britain. Now, he wouldn't have said that without some sort of approval from the higher-ups on state TV. So there's that publicity angle to it is part of it. I think also probably it's an attempt to, as we said, sow unrest. And without being unfair, I think Russia historically has the tendency to play the victim card, even if it is the aggressor, as in the case of their invasion of eastern Ukraine. They began to push back with talk about being victims when they were the aggressor. That's part of Russia's record in recent centuries. So there may be some of that too, where whoever did it is trying to provoke something, a reaction, which they then call disproportionate.